Welcome, welcome, welcome to this edition of Nikki B and Friends Reality Check. So, what the reality check is we discuss the reality TV shows that's going on that we are watching, and it's myself along with my sisters. So, let's quick. Let me introduce you to my sister, Margot. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, thank you. And Rhythm.
I am doing well this evening and I'm excited to talk about these shows.
Good, 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 good. So it won't be too scripted. We just going with the flow, just talking about our opinion and what we feel about the reality show. The two we're talking about today is just a quick summary of the Braxton's Family Value because we know that's coming to an end. And then we are doing Married to Medicine, and we will be doing Married to Medicine weekly after from this week on out. We'll be walking you guys through our opinion of every episode of Married to Medicine. So let's go ahead and start with Braxton Family Value / Tracy and Friends and Flavor Flav.
Y'all fix my life /
Everything above, absolutely, and all the new people on the show.
Right. I don't get that how they mix that show into one. Call these people and still kept the same name with this group of people doing just the silliest stuff. And then I'm trying to figure out, now do either one of you know why the family was boycotting in the first place?
I heard several different stories, so I'm not sure which one is true. Some people said they were trying to get more money or more rights to the show. I'm not really sure about that, but that they all were supposed to be on the same page, and then Tracy decided that she couldn't do that. She had to do her own thing and continue to take the show. I think this was the worst season ever, but that Iyanla show, let me tell you, that was the best.
Well, I heard the same thing. I heard that that it was really about them trying to get more money. I hadn't heard anything about the rights, but that kind of makes sense too. And it's interesting that they really haven't talked in specifics about it. I even looked it up online to see if there were articles written to say whether they were able to get what they were expecting, because think about it, it was only one show where they weren't on there. The very next show, Tony was on there and maybe Tawanda. And then you had Trina, the mother, and Tamar come the show after that. So it really was only one show that they had this hiatus.
You know, it all goes back to Vince. Vince and his money and something to punish Vince. It's always about Vince. And Vince, I'm single if you out there, because I'm so glad that I hope you happier without Tamar. And I got a big family and you just looking for a nice family. We got a nice family. We have good meals on holidays. So Vince,
Really?
if you out there, yeah, I'm gonna make my move. Vince, you and lost that weight.
No.
Oh, Lord, no. We are not going there tonight.
No, I don't believe that.
Shoot my shot. Already done inboxed them. Ain't nobody running that but Tamar.
Oh,
The inbox.
oh, wow.
In a minute, you could be saying the same thing about Cecil.
No. No, not please leave Cecil alone.
Yeah, we gonna get to that whole thing later because I got a question for her. That's why I'm glad that we doing this, because I got some good married wives on here, because that I got some questions about that. So so then let's with this Braxton Family Values. So this episode that Margot is so excited about and can't wait to talk about, but I ain't gonna let her go because she's ready to go. She's been ready to go since we pushed record on this one.
Absolutely.
But I just want to say, I've been saying since day one that those girls act just like mommy, and she is a control freak, and that's why the daddy had an affair.
No.
And left. Yep, I'm blaming her. trying to run that man, and that's why she got all them girls acting bitter and evil and mistreating. You see how they disrespect their husbands and how they all marry weak men. Look at all of the men. They all married weak men except for Vince, and then that's the one that they can't stand. And that's why they couldn't stand Tamar, because she couldn't rope him in to do what she wanted him to do, or he would calm her down from the foolishness. Tawanda got a man at home telling me he writing a book. Who saw it?
I didn't.
Exactly. We got Gabe. He working from home, but he's stuck up in that room and his wife all on TV telling me she done slept with another man and then did all kind of stuff with another man in the band. How disrespectful is that?
With the man.
That was after he had done some crazy nonsense himself.
No, she went first.
Oh. No, he did, Nikki. She wasn't first. It was Gabe.
Yeah.
Go back to the first episode. Go back to the first episode. But she was disrespecting Gabe, thinking she could come and go as she wanted. Tawanda just had her a nice babysitter. I'm just like, who is this guy? You know, he always just looked like he had that same shirt on. Then you got Tony. Now, she didn't marry Carrie, who was one of my favorite mint condition groups, who once she didn't file bankruptcy, took care of her, and they downplay him like he ain't did nothing. She on the show how unhappy she was and all of that. Now, he the babysitter, and sometimes they in the studio and sometimes they not. But we all know he was still hitting that. Remember, Tamar came in because she had caught Carrie leave at that time and played that song on the piano.
Yes, I remember.
I do. Right. Remember, I didn't see all of the first couple seasons of that, so I might be behind on some of it.
Okay. So then that go her, and then Mikey. We don't know what Mikey doing. We don't know if people be beating on Mikey. We don't know if Mikey married. We don't know what Mikey got going on, but we do know that Mommy be having it all together, had her wig laid over to the side, all her makeup on point, her little kitten heels on, and then they showed the lady who stole Daddy, and she looked like ain't your mama, like she about to be the new lady on the pancake bottle. Okay, so that's my thing. So anyway, I said all that to say, Mommy got them girls mistreating men, and they don't know how to treat they men, and that's why they in the situations that they in.
Wow.
And then what really makes me mad is they say, Mommy taught us what happens in the house stays in the house, but she gonna go on TV to talk about what Vince just randomly talking about Vince like a dog on every TV show there was.
Oh yeah, and at the airport and TV,
right,
and all
and
that.
then Tamar was like, well, that's not true. She just on some show now claiming she in love with somebody from Africa. I guess that's why she cut all her hair off. I was hoping it was just so to get help.
The man, he got to be from Africa. Same thing with the housewives. Oh, how many of them had Africans? Come on, stop it.
Atlanta, a lot of Africans.
African, nothing. The African men sticking y'all line on them. Do y'all ever see them?
Nope. I saw a big foot man. That's when I'm like, oh, okay. That's why Vince ain't got back with me. But then she said,
Nina, did you see how that came back to her?
Yes, that fast.
So, so I blame Mommy. I think that they all act just like Mommy. They scared of Mommy. They tiptoe around Mommy. They be scared to hug their daddy and all of that. So he's scared of Miss E. Hey, Miss E. He's so scared. Mommy probably used to whoop the nuts out of him. All right, go ahead. That was mine for my summary. So go ahead. Whoever want to let loose.
Well, can I go next?
Yes.
Go ahead, Margot.
Okay, thank you so much. Nikki, I don't agree that it's Mommy's fault and that they all act like her. I do think Mommy has some ownership in the fact that I think after the daddy cheated on her, that she's still very bitter from that. And I think she projects a lot of that off on them. And I do agree that they don't know how to interact with him. They're better now, but when the show first started, you could see that there was a struggle for them to even interact with him at all because they were worried about, how she would feel about it.
Hurting her feelings.
I really think that Tamar, I'm going to be honest, somebody should have kicked Tamar's behind a long time ago. Tamar is out of control. Did you see how Tamar was behaving like she was about 6 when Iyanla was talking to her with all her head snapping and rolling.
Always have.
Oh, I was so happy when Iyanla told her off, but they have allowed her to behave in that poor fashion for all these years, and that's the reason why she carries on like that. And if I'm shocked Vince stayed with her as long as he did.
Me too. I don't act like that, Vince.
When I tell you I was so happy when Iyanla read her, and I can't wait till next week. I'm telling y'all right now. I put my TV on record on every TV. I want to make sure that I don't miss when Iyanla let her have it, because somebody should have stood up and told long time. I've been wanting to tell her off. I'm so happy to get this platform to tell Tamar, sit down and have 10 damn seats, because I am so tired of you acting like a little bitty ass baby. You have a son. Be an example. My goodness, it is embarrassing. You are an embarrassment. And for your sister to say if they weren't my family, they wouldn't be my friends, what is that telling you? Oh, I'm telling you, that Tamar makes my blood pressure roll.
Wow.
Yeah, we see it. I'm like, calm down. I'm ready to stop the show now.
Well, you know what's interesting for me is I think it's interesting that Tamar wasn't the only one who didn't show up. Tony didn't show up.
That is true.
And it always happens that when Tamar does what Tony does on a regular basis, everybody ignores that Tony has done it. Yeah. And Tamar gets all of the heat. What's also interesting is that even though Tony had finally showed up, she wasn't even in the room. She was in the other room, as she puts it, on a conference call. So outside. She still wasn't even engaged after she finally showed up late. I was so happy how Iyanla, there's this thing, and I say this frequently, you have to teach people how to treat you. Mm-hmm. And when Iyanla, how she explained it, she was just like, when this kind of stuff happens that disrespects me, I cut it off immediately, because I don't want anybody to get in the habit of continuing to do this behavior that is unacceptable. That's right. And I thought it was really good that she nipped it in the bud. I think it was either Trina or Tawanda who said, finally somebody sees that we're here picking up the slack when others aren't.
That was Trina. And
I think the heat ended up being all on Tamar. I think she was the brunt of it, but it seemed like it was the mother who was late as well as Tony who was late. And but Tamar, I think, because like Tony was saying to her early on, all of your animation, right, is annoying or whatever, however Tony said it to her. All of her animation made it seem like she was the only one guilty, but she wasn't the only one Iyanla was talking to.
Right. But you know what, it goes back to what Margot said is that the sisters, in my opinion, they don't like her. They never have. It's shown every season, because what they give each other a pass on, they never give her a pass on. They don't like her. Yep. And it's obvious and it's clear, and they show it. And, but they let Tony get away with everything, but that's because Tony done went broke and filed bankruptcy 2 times trying to take care of all of them.
I think that too, Nikki. And I think it's also like Iyanla told Tamar, it's the way you deliver your message. It's the way they do certain things alike. But the way Tamar delivers her message is always attitudinal. It's all of that,
judgmental.
And she's the first one to say something to somebody else about their relationship. But when that stuff happened with her and Vince, she shut down. They couldn't say anything to her. But if she didn't talk about each one of their husbands and talked about this one right here, get you one of these right here. Remember all of that?
I'm trying to get them. I'm trying.
And then when it came back, when it was your turn to hear it, you couldn't hear that. You could hear that because she was telling about how lousy their husbands were. But when this right here, Vincent was the creme de crop, and now all of a sudden she can't stand him.
Well, she even tried to retract those words. She was like, when I was saying this one right here, I wasn't meaning like he was the best thing. I was just like, he's a piece of work. And everybody was looking at her like, Tamar, please, don't nobody believe that.
But what she was saying is at the time was true, was that he was I was thinking she was meaning like a provider, because he is a provider compared to those other guys.
That was the context.
Right. He is a provider, and right. He's a strong man, and he's doing what he's supposed to do, provide for his family. Because now I will say that it does sound like Gabe was a provider for his family as well. So him and Trina just had some other issues, but no, Tony gets a pass with everything. Tawanda starts everything. That's why I was really surprised when, I don't know if you guys even seen when they were on it was TD Jake's little 5-episode show before it got canceled. Oh. And TD Jake says TD Jake says, oh my goodness, said that they were talking and about passes and stuff like that. I forgot what I was about to say, trying to throw that jab at TD.
Right, you lost it. But it was about, you were saying Tawanda and never giving a break to
Tamar. Oh, no, yeah, I said that she stars the most stuff. And when they was on TD Jake's show, he played a game with him, who does this the most? Yeah. And it said, who's the peacemaker? And Mommy said that Tawanda was. And I'm like, she started all the mess.
To me, starter. She is the mess starter. The peacemaker is probably Trina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trina gets her feelings hurt the ease.
Yeah, Trina does.
But you know what? This year I've seen though, and we'll probably see more next week of all of Tracy's pain, because Tracy's been. Remember when it first started, and I know one of y'all said that you didn't see it from the beginning. Remember, she probably wasn't even on the first season, I don't think, but they hadn't seen her in years and stuff. And some of them were mad because she was so close to Daddy. She's really close with Daddy because she still lives with Daddy live. And so the wife, she knew her and that type of stuff. But, after that deal when she got pregnant and they didn't let her stay in the group, mm-hmm. But then somebody then turned around to find out, then Trina get pregnant, but Trina can still stay in the group.
Mm-hmm. I think it was really timing. So I think Tracy got pregnant. Trina had already had her son.
Exactly.
And then Tracy got pregnant at the time of the contract. So to have her pregnant was, I think that was the issue, was the timing of it. It wasn't just that she had a child. It was when she was having it, it was interfering with what they were trying to do with, I don't know what the contract stipulated, but I think that was one of the things that I noticed about it, because it wasn't just because she had a child, because Trina had already had her oldest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But Tracy don't be hitting her notes all the time anyway. When she didn't do them so long.
Oh, no. Well, I tell you what, Nikki, she was actually on the first season. But remember, because that first season they had that meeting where Tracy talked about them, and she let them know how much pain she was in. That's when she first heard about the contract and her being pregnant and not being on the show. And remember, that's when Tony mentioned to her something about her weight. And
sure did.
I don't think that was the first season, because I remember seeing that, and I don't remember seeing the first season, because remember, Nikki, you were trying to find it for me, and we couldn't find it, and I was trying to see, so that I could get caught up, kind of like with Married to Medicine. I still haven't seen the first season, maybe two of those, but yeah. But I do remember the episode you're referring to, because they had the doctor out of Atlanta was kind of the counselor for them at the time. They were sitting at a conference table, and Tracy, that was when Tracy said something about her weight.
That lady get more jobs than a little bit, don't she?
She almost be on every show from Atlanta.
Her and that little short man, that one little man.
Yes, that man is everywhere. I cannot remember his name, but I like him.
Dr. Jeff.
Yes.
You don't watch a lot of reality TV. That's why you don't know. Okay. So, anything else we got for Braxton Family Value? How many episodes do they have left?
I think next week is the finale. Let me just add this piece. I think what's interesting about all of them and what they've gone through, they have all chosen. I mean, so when you're involved in these shows, I'm assuming that you get to talk about, okay, this is what my season is going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
This is the element of my life I'm choosing to put on display this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they've all, I think they wanted something from Tamar. I think I need to come in and defend her in some way. I don't know why, but I feel like I do.
Only
Yeah,
because
she used to be my favorite.
only because y'all got that baby thing in common. That's all it is. Let that
Maybe
go.
that's what it is because
All
I'm looking
babies
at
are look. All babies are not the same.
right now. That's the
You
truth.
an
That's the
adult
truth.
baby. This
But
is a child baby.
okay, well, what I think is interesting is she didn't want to display her divorce the way the others have displayed their divorces.
Got to remember,
I
Vince,
think
the
that she
money
has a
behind the
right.
show, though.
Yeah, and I think she has a right to that. Like, so the same way that, I mean, I thought, even with Tawanda's divorce, we saw some elements of it, but she, there were some elements that she really didn't. There were other elements that we just didn't see. And I think that that's okay. I actually think for her to be trying to guard that and not talk about it and all of that. Now, when they were saying that they weren't able to have personal conversations with her, that seemed odd to me. But
They don't trust them.
Nikki, if they don't really like her, then they shouldn't have been looking to have a personal conversation with her. I mean, if we're not truly friends, I think like Mommy said in either this last episode or the one before, she was just like, this show has done this to them. And frequently it keeps happening where these shows, people get on these shows and then start doing and behaving a certain way because it's hard to forgive somebody for saying and doing something that the world has heard them say and do. And it was different when it was happening before that.
Yeah.
That was Tamar when she first came on the show, and that's how they thought she was the breakout star because people liked how real she was. It was horrible from the beginning. I had an issue with Tamar from the beginning. I always thought somebody need to rein this in because this is not cute.
Yeah, but see, I always looked at it, and I'm not, I'm not taking up for her actions, but she used to be my favorite and the one that I felt kind of sorry for because I always did feel like they ganged up on her, and I felt that was her way of how she got attention because they all admitted she'd been doing this her whole life. So that was just her way of acting. She came out, they knew how she act. And then I also think that the other ones shared more of their information and personal business because they didn't have anything else going for themselves. So she was singing and bringing out her album. Everybody already know Tony. The rest of them really didn't have a storyline besides their personal business, and they shared a lot more because you got to remember her and Tony came in, like Vince was already executive producing, then her and Tony came in the next year. So that means they would get to say what come on and what's said and what's not, what gets aired. And though the sisters was given way more of their business than I think that I would have if I was on there. But to me, they didn't have anything else going. So that's why it ended up that way. But they were Tony backup singers.
Right.
I think Trina didn't have no choice because once Gabe put it out on the internet, and you know what I mean.
I'm telling you, Trina was first.
Yeah.
But Gabe did put some information out on the internet that he
Gabe did.
He would just lay it on out there for everybody to see. Stupid fool.
Yeah.
And thought people wouldn't see that. You should have known they were going to hurry up, put you out on blast, you
But
dummy.
I think she had already embarrassed him or something. I'm telling you, Trina did something first.
No, she didn't. He did it first. And that wasn't his first time, remember? It was him.
Well, maybe he didn't want to be the babysitter like Tawanda husband because now he was gone all the time. We knew he worked from home. Tawanda husband was writing that book.
That still hasn't come out, has it?
I think it did.
Can't nobody even know them. Don't nobody know the name of. Don't nobody know his name.
Andre. It's Andre.
Andre what?
That's his name. Oh, you know what? I applaud Tawanda for getting away from that man. That man was a weirdo.
Yeah, but he got the kids.
That was the worst part. Did he get the kids?
I think it's like 50.
Yeah, I thought it was shared.
He the
Okay.
one took care of the kids. He on
Right.
commercials doing his daughter hair and stuff.
He did. Yes,
No,
he did.
he's not. No, he's not. Nikki, please. I'm not doing that with you. No. But wait a minute. You thought Andre was a weirdo. I mean, I did think that him not working was odd behavior, but I didn't think he was weird.
The reason why I said it was weirdo because I think he was making up jobs that he was going on because Andre was like, "You bring the checks home. I'm not going to. My job is to act like I'm going to look for one." That was Andre's job because there was no way that man shouldn't have been able to find some type of employment being daddy daycare.
He wasn't looking.
Right, because
his job was to act as if he was looking for one because he wasn't.
Right, he was doing daddy daycare for elementary and middle school age.
He didn't have to. Somebody had to be there for those kids to cook, do their hair, and all of that stuff.
Right.
In the morning when they get out, he could have done something for 8 hours in the middle of the day.
The book. Do you know how much time it takes to write and get your book right?
Yeah. He wanted that minivan so he could be the soccer dad. That's all he wanted.
Oh my goodness, poor Andre.
Took them the kids to dance class. We saw him at dance class.
Right, the soccer mom. Think about it. He did the reverse role.
Oh yeah, because remember they lived with Trina and Gabe. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So Gabe taking care of all of them.
Well, he just should have. But since he was putting all his business out, he should have been doing something to make up for that.
No, because you know somebody gave some too much cereal. Them was some big boys. Training. So somebody gave that cereal.
Nikki, he probably was feeding them off the money he was making off his
Now you done made Gabe a porn star.
Okay, these are our opinions and these are true facts.
Right, please.
Y'all about to get this little thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we need to hurry up and get.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. Here we go.
Talk about the B word.
All right, we move. All right, the B word. Okay. So now let's move on nicely and smoothly to Married to Medicine. So let's start off with, I got a little list of little scenes. So Mariah and Lauren. You guys, I don't know how long y'all been watching it, but I know that rhythm hasn't been, but I've been meaning to tell you because the show is airing right now, season 1 on up is on demand.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Somebody just told me that, and I've been meaning to tell you, and I just checked while we were on the phone.
Yeah, it's never been the case.
Yeah, but I think it's because it's airing right now, because normally you would try to do it after it's been off or something like that.
No, I've been looking for season 1 for a long time.
So anyway, Lauren, it's nice to see Lauren and Mariah. I love Lauren. It's nice to see her. She didn't grew up, because when she first started, she was so little, and that little visit, that was cute.
That was cute. I think that was good. I'm glad Mariah took her there and she felt comfortable talking with Simone. That was good.
Yeah. Rhythm gonna look for it and watch it now while we recording, or you gonna say something about that first scene? I told you I just checked.
I'm just checking on my end. We don't live in the same city.
You got anything to say about Mariah and Lauren?
Yeah, I thought that was cute. I thought that I learned something. I didn't realize that. I do remember you saying that Mariah was instrumental in the formation of the show and who was participating, but I didn't realize the connection that Simone, Dr. Simone, had delivered her daughter. So wow, when I heard that, I was just like, oh, this is an interesting thing, just kind of thinking about some of the relationship dynamics and all of that. So
and I bet you, because her and Jackie have never had a dynamic, and I when you watch season 1, I think they'll be saying that it'll be the end. It was the end, but that could be how Jackie got on there. She met her through Simone, because Dr. Jackie and Simone used to share an office. And then Simone couldn't end up owing in taxes and stuff. You'll end up saying that.
So you're going to tell it before I see it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. People who listening to this been following it for a while, so.
So I do see that I have access to season 1. So I think I came in on season 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll watch season 1 and season 2 at some point to try and get caught up on that.
So then the next scene was Jackie faking like she cooked and Quad trying to get some tears to drop. She cannot get no tears to drop for nothing in the world. I wish they would just spray her face and run off one time while the camera had Jackie. Just spray her and then sort of look like tears. But Quad cannot get no tears to drop.
She tries so hard.
Nothing. So what you guys think about their conversation and they scene?
She was just so disrespectful to Dr. G. And like Jackie was saying, Jackie was like, he's just trying. He's trying to see where his wife is. Like, you know, he's trying to put forth some effort or whatever. And obviously Dr. G has a whole lot of work to do. But I think what was interesting about them was the comment that Dr. G made when he was with the fellas, and he was saying, I just need to know that my wife desires me. And I was just thinking that's an interesting piece, because I have never, now again, I'm the one who came in kind of late, so I've only seen a few seasons, but I've never felt like she had any interest in him as her spouse. And I'm not condoning his behavior or him, you know, being in a hotel with another woman or any of that. I'm just solely talking about the interactions that they've had. And it just doesn't, you know, so him saying that, I was just like, yeah, you know, that's my perspective on the whole thing too, that she doesn't have much interest in him as her husband.
She's been just holding on to him because the show is called Married to Medicine. One of Mariah's desires was to have a show that had married couples on there. And so lately it has come out, and he did a interview with a radio station and said that him and Quad have not slept in the same room since their second year of marriage.
Wow.
So
all that's been
they would have
pretending.
gotten kicked off the show had they spoken.
I mean, it's Married to Medicine. If you're not married to a doctor, why are you there?
So that's the reason why she didn't have a baby, because they have no relationship anyway.
Exactly.
I was wondering, I'm like, why is there such an issue for her? Is vanity that much a part of her life that she feels that if I have this baby, my body's going to change? Snap it back, work on it. I kept saying I couldn't understand why that was the one thing he asked for. And this show's I've been watching this show for 5-6 seasons, and why she never would even consider one child. I just couldn't get that. And so after you said that, Nikki, about them not being in the same room, that makes perfectly good sense. And when he said that tonight, Nita, I agree with you. I felt the same way, that I don't think this lady really loves him. I think she's with him for the motion and for the status, because it does not seem that, you know, and to me, you know, she's not one of my favorites on the show, because I think she's a fake and a phony.
Me too. And a user. I think that because Margot, you've been watching it since the first season, right?
Right. No, I hadn't at first, but I got caught up. I just recently saw the first season this summer. They played it before this season started. Okay,
so then I've been watching it since it started. I think she just uses people to get ahead.
I do too.
Like I said, when you watch the season, Mariah fought heavy for her. The other people didn't want anything to do with her. They didn't even want to film with her. They thought she was beneath them. And Mariah was, this is my best friend. Come on, girls, rallying for her. And soon as it seems like she got a name for herself, then she started dogging out Mariah. Every time Mariah does something, she's so threatened by Mariah, it makes no sense. She used to call Mariah's mama. That's how close they were.
Oh, wow. So what happened? I can't even remember. I know we're trying to talk about tonight's episode, but since you brought that up, I can't remember what was their issue that made them fall out. I know that Mariah and Lisa Nicole had become cool, and Quad.
Well, Lisa Nicole the only one who wanted to. What happened is you will end up seeing like season 2 around there.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden everybody turned on Mariah, and it wasn't really Mariah's fault because they felt that Mariah thought she was the queen of the show. Mariah never said she was the queen of the show. Fans like me said she was the queen of the show. So like social media, gets in the way. So when people were tweeting and doing all that stuff, everybody was, oh, this show wouldn't be nothing without Mariah the queen and all of that. And then all of a sudden, you know how Simone do. She go from 0 to 10, but won't get Cecil now. But
no, she didn't say that.
I sure did.
She said it.
Yes,
she said
and
it.
She went to We're All Queens. It's like one season. I think it's gonna be season 2. All you gonna hear, we all queens, we all queens, we all queens, we all queens. And so then
and Mariah, and then Quad jumped on that bandwagon.
Yep, and she was feeling like, oh, you feel like you helped me, you feel like you made me what I am, and Mariah genuinely loved her, and you could tell Mariah was really hurt, but then all of the other women was happy to see her change. And I don't care what nobody's saying. I know that sometimes I'll say stuff that other people won't say, but it almost reminds me of the School Days Bugaboo. They like to pick on Mariah because she's nice looking and they not.
Oh, exactly said that.
Yeah, School Days Bugaboo.
Well, you know what? Quad to me has something negative to say about everybody.
Do her voice. Can anybody do her phony voice? Her phony voice. Now I know you ain't gonna do this, cause this right here is not going. She didn't talk like that first season.
Miss Quad,
honey.
And Mariah is the one who started calling her that. Miss Quad. She get it. Now she calling herself Miss Quad.
Well, I tell you what. And this is off topic a little bit, but Quad is on the show called the Sister Circle. Mm-hmm. I cannot watch the show because I can't watch Quad, and Trina is now on the show, and I like Trina Braxton.
Oh, is Trina a regular? I saw that, but I thought she was like
another time, but she was on there. I think it was maybe 1 or 2 episodes I saw. But
they fired that other lady
with the blonde hair. Now they fired her, but I didn't see her. But I cannot watch.
She ain't there. She didn't have to go home, but she had to get on up out of this.
I don't know. But I do know that I cannot watch that show because I can't stomach Quad and her fake and phoniness. I can watch her on Married to Medicine. I like the other cast on there. And so I don't have to entertain her too long. And that's how I am with Tamar the Back Braxton. I couldn't watch Tamar and Vince. I couldn't stomach her too long. And I tell y'all something else. I know we're not talking about them anymore, but that stuff with Tracy and Friends was the pits. Okay, so I just gave my
opinion. Yeah, we didn't. That was the worst mess I've ever seen, even though I was really happy to see Phaedra, because I love Phaedra, and I miss Phaedra so much. I wish they would just give her a show.
Fake ponytail. Phaedra. Phaedra. Mm-hmm.
We ain't going on. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing
that. They got what she had coming. Let's move it on.
Did you have something, Rhythm, about you said what you had to say about Quad and Jackie conversation. But Jackie looked like she really trying with
her husband.
With that?
Curtis and Jackie look like they really were.
They do look like they real happy.
Happy for them. With him, and it seemed like things have come around. I'm really happy.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny that today I ended up thinking about it, and when Jackie and Quad was having their conversation, I ended up thinking about it. Wow, where was all this compassion for Lisa Nicole? Y'all reamed her like I don't know what. I wonder have any of these ladies called and apologized to Lisa Nicole for standing by her Darren.
They did Lisa wrong, and you know who was the leader of that, don't you? Miss Quad. Miss Quad had everything to say to Lisa. Hit her with that glass.
Sure did. But I just, and nobody even brought it up. Like, wow, like even Simone going through a season, like, nobody. Now you guys see, like Nicole was telling y'all, this is her work, right? And you guys know that she's a Christian for real. She not heavenly, acting like she working on it every week. But nobody, no, you guys haven't reached out to her to say we understand, and I owe you an apology because you know she was the biggest fool again.
Yeah.
School days. Bugaboos and not the bugaboos.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I like the comment that Curtis made again when the guys were together, and he said to Dr. G, "Stay the course." And the other thing I like what he said was, it's all about paying attention to the details.
That's right.
When Dr. G said, "What's your advice?" or "What should I do?" or something like that, he was like, it's hard work, but you have to pay attention to the details. So if you're trying to work on this, you have to get down to some specifics in the areas where you know you need to make some changes, and the areas where you know you need to make some impact, and pay attention to those details and stay the course. That was sound advice.
Dr. G is a damn fool, in my opinion, because Quad done been showed him she don't want him. He getting old. He want a baby. Go out there, get you somebody who's interested in you. Get you have you a nice younger wife, because now your old sperm and her, somebody's some old egg. Go ahead, get you a nice young woman who likes you, respects you, and get you a baby.
But that's what he did with that. Isn't Quad significantly younger than him? Because how old is Quad? Isn't she like 35?
No, now she in her 40s. She done waited 6 years to get married. If he would have married her and got a baby then, he would have been better off.
Oh.
So now she 40.
Oh.
He was 35, I think, when they got married. So, okay, let's boom, bam, let's get this out of the way. We all know somebody who done did that. But, everybody ain't doing that. And so
why have they been acting like she's so young? Why is,
because she's younger than them. Because she's younger than them.
Oh.
And Simone just over the top and like talking and doing all that hollering. While Cecil needed to talk to his friend Jackie.
I like Simone.
I think Simone is the equivalent of Tawanda. I think she's the mess starter.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Cecil is what makes you love Simone, because you just love Cecil. So you be like, Simone can't lead the show because you want Cecil on there. Can't nobody stand Simone.
Simone is the mess starter.
I like Simone. I like Jackie.
I can't stand Jackie.
You don't like Jackie?
I think Jackie is a big fake and phony. And I think that last year really showed how phony reality can be, because this lady he all in a newspaper. But did you notice that they didn't even concentrate on that? Everybody else concentrated on their issues with their husband to take the focus off of her so she could still look like she was perfect and doing okay. She giving people advice on marriage, and your husband walking through the airport with his hand in the back pocket of somebody else's jeans. Man, please.
Oh my God.
Okay, yeah, I didn't
in somebody's back pocket.
Yeah. When him and the girl was going out of town, his hands was in them jeans, in the back pocket of them jeans as they was walking through the airport. But Jackie likes to do these sly, like she the one who gave Heavenly that picture of Mariah. When she, here's a peace offering. You was trying to be funny. All the nice pictures of Mariah, and you're going to give her the one with her leg broke and 40 pounds heavier.
Jackie gave it to her?
Jackie gave it to her.
Well, I do agree with what you said about Jackie being, she tried to be slick with hers.
Mm-hmm.
But Heavenly told her that today.
Heavenly sure did tell her that.
I'd rather you call somebody the B word than to say the stuff that you say to people.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. She indirectly cuts folk.
Right. And Mariah has been saying that for years. You talk down to people, but you have a way of doing it. You may not cuss somebody out, but you make a lot of sly comments.
Mm-hmm.
Mariah has said that.
So Mariah got some invoices on Daddy.
Yeah, Mariah got some invoices on Daddy. Mariah ain't saying nothing like that if she ain't got no invoices on Daddy.
We see that invoices. When she said invoices, I'm like,
When she said power washed this nasty ass house, I think that house nasty for real, because she didn't call that house nasty too many times. That house must be filthy.
Has she really?
Oh yeah. Every time she talk about Heavenly, she talk about the old nasty ass house. And if you seen how Simone fell out, then nobody heard Simone wasn't laughing saying that house ain't nasty. Simone was hollering. And then Cecil did a funny tweet talking about some Simone came home contaminated. Or something he said that was funny. Yeah. So that house must be filthy. And then she talking about Daddy and he talking about Buddy. But you know what? Everybody know who they married to, because soon as that blonde woman was over there talking, she jumped up and ran up over there quick to see what Daddy and that blonde nurse was talking about. And the blonde nurse like, yep, I know who you are.
Where was that?
At the Toya party that she did for Eugene.
Yeah.
I need to go back to that because you mentioned that before, Nikki, and I
Oh yeah, she caught it out the corner of her eye, jumped up and ran over there so quick, and Jackie was laughing and whispered to Simone, well not whispered, but said to Simone, look at her, look at Heaven. Heavenly ran over there quick, and then Mariah was sipping on whatever she was drinking on and gonna say, oh, he like blind, huh?
Mariah tickles me.
Yeah, she does. I love Mariah.
Mm-mm.
All right, so the next thing I got on the list, because I did have the guys, but we didn't really talk. We just talked. We didn't. You guys already didn't say so much about the guys and their conversation. So,
Okay.
But I'm just mad that nobody hollered out. Dr. G, come on, dude. This girl on want you. Do you really want some kids? You know, Dr. G used to date Phaedra.
Girl, stop.
Mm-hmm. And then Mariah gonna go to Phaedra for some legal advice. Remember when she was trying to sue somebody? Lisa Nicole over that glass when Lisa Nicole waxed that tail.
Yep, when she talked about that scratch on her face, somebody told me, I ain't see no mark on her face. I was on the floor.
Heavenly, right. But now her and Heavenly best friends, because you know Heavenly and Lisa Nicole were so close, and then she got cool with Quiet. I can't stand Heavenly. I just cannot stand
Lisa Nicole. They did Lisa Nicole so bad. I truly understand why she didn't come back this year.
But I think what's interesting is that
school days,
the whole concept of this reality TV, like the way Mariah and Heavenly have gone at it back and forth. Mm-hmm. I couldn't imagine either one of them inviting the other to their homes.
Or on a stage.
Yeah, but this stage.
But you gotta be there. That's the thing.
You know, it's required of them, and then it just because I wouldn't want to have somebody in my home that I number one would feel like they would call me the B word, and number two that I would feel compelled to call them the B word. That's just more stress than I want on my property. Yeah. My house is my haven, and I'm not about to bring that kind of drama to it. And it's just like, why do they keep setting this up this way?
It's because it's that's how you get the drama, get us to tune in and the arguments and the rating. So because we know in real life, that's how it go down in real life. You just wouldn't deal with your enemy. Who gonna be there? Oh, I ain't coming. But you under contract, so now you gotta be there.
Right.
Because that was one of the things that the interview that I seen that Mariah did. That why we didn't see Quad the first 3 episodes where everybody was acting like she was going through with Dr. G. Mm-hmm. She really wasn't. She was pledging is what she was doing.
Pledging for a sorority?
For a sorority. AKA, she was pledging. She was in the pledge. That's what she was doing. That's why she went in the first 3 episodes. She was pledging.
Did she get in?
She got in because I think she said something on that old show she got that you just hollered out the lady ain't in the seat no more. All right, let's check the fellas off the list. But I hope somebody pulled them to the side and was honest. Maybe not on, camera, but whatever. Now that's not on the list, but let me ask you this since we didn't talk about all of this. Why ain't Simone sleeping with Cecil?
I don't know. I'm gonna ask you. You don't interested in that?
Right, because I thought they was looked like they were doing just fine. So
Yeah, but she's still not sleeping with him. She don't feel like it.
Well, according to Heavenly, she just don't like to be sexy. Remember Heavenly talked about her lounging attire?
yes, she did.
I don't remember that. What she have on?
I don't even remember, but it was on one of those trips. That she was like, if she think this is sexy, we supposed to be
flannel or something.
Oh, okay. All right. So then I got on here. Eugene and Toya looking for them a $2 million house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why won't they just get $1 million house?
I don't even understand. I can't fathom that, last season they were struggling and all of this with being able to spend time with one another. And the alternative is they have 2 children. Mm-hmm. And the alternative is to build a 9,000 square foot house. Mm-hmm. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I don't care how much money you're making. Mm-hmm. To have just gotten out of $140,000 in IRS debt. Mm-hmm. And the first thing, because even his vehicle, remember he was saying he was selling his vehicle last season. Mm-hmm. As a way for them to try and get out of debt. So as soon as you get out of debt, you go and buy, whether you're spending credit to get it or whether you're spending cash to get it. Mm-hmm. That would be the expense that you would make. Another vehicle. It's just like they still haven't learned the principles about, like she was saying when they were in that mess, we didn't grow up having the resources. So nobody really taught us how to manage money. And they still haven't learned anything. And I just think, she's saying he wanted to get a $3 million house. Yeah, that's like, no, let's keep it at $2 million. And I'm thinking like you, Nikki, how about one? I look at how Jackie lives.
I know. Mm-hmm. And that's a beautiful house.
Right. A house that is, is what she and her husband need, is not over the top, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And I'm sure she's doing really well with her practice. Mm-hmm. So why not scale down a little bit? The house that they're even living in now is a decent house.
Like Heavenly and her husband. They both, she a dentist and he's another physician, MD. Come on. They don't have that house only gets 9,000 square feet. It's a beautiful house though. Yep. I mean, why do you need all of that?
It's a keep up with the Joneses for Toya to me. She always has stuff that nobody else has.
I keep up.
That's what Contessa. That's why Contessa.
I'm glad you said that because I wanted her name to come up, but she's just so boring to me and just so trying so hard this year to be thirsty that I ain't even write her name down. Go on here.
Is it Contessa?
I think Contessa.
I don't want to say Contessa because that's what Heavenly was calling. We know that was wrong. So Contessa, that's why she was kind of like, when they had that Out of the Black party, she was like, are we really celebrating at this level that somebody has gotten out of debt? And it's just like, they're just spenders and they need to reel it in because they're going to eventually repeat the same cycle if they don't learn a lesson. Because it doesn't matter how much you have. If you don't know how to take care of it and manage it, it's going to keep managing you.
That's right.
We've seen him with all that, what was it, crawfish and stuff tonight. He was the one hosting tonight. They just had a party not too long ago. He was hosting tonight. And Toya, love wine, expensive wine, and she drank, a bottle a day seemed like, and she was the one who was the first one that Heavenly was like, you mean to tell me this lazy bitch got a electric wine? It was a really nice thing. I've never even seen anybody else with one. And it did this whole thing and it was Heavenly like they owe all this money and this is what she doing. She renting. They the only ones renting. Mm-hmm. And we'll get out of this and do all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think it's good that once you have, you've worked hard and you can afford, more than maybe where you grew up. Mm-hmm. But just being mindful of the repercussions of it, I think, is important. And I just don't think she has it. They have it yet. It's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, what's going on with Contessa? Because what's she doing? Removing her breast?
Yeah, she's having a double mastectomy.
Because her mom had cancer and she just want to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Her mom had breast cancer. Her dad now has been recently diagnosed with cancer. And
did they diagnose? I thought they had not.
That's what she said. I don't, that's how she referred to it. And she's had abnormal mammograms for a number of years.
Yeah. So
yeah, she should then if that runs. So
yeah.
Yeah, but to me, this year she's trying too hard, but it's funny to me, and I always look at things sometimes differently, but like her crying with Quad, you don't even know Quad that well. I think that she thought that like Quad was the star of the show, so let me kind of befriend her and all of this, and now Quad ain't nowhere to be seen. Now she looking silly trying to, just talking just to be talking, even though Toya, that speakerphone thing just was so ignorant and silly.
Yes, Nikki. Oh my
speakerphone thing, remind me.
The party and then they calling her so she could, she don't owe Toya no apology and her daddy in town. Her husband's there. Her husband told you she can't make it. She with her daddy. Then Heavenly got a caller. Well, we got Cortessa on the phone. Then she putting it to the speaker in front of everybody with the mic right there about her daddy. Girl, shut up. I don't know you that much.
And then when she found out that her father was ill and that's why they were together, Toya still had the nerve to ask if she had an adage on my friends would have been at my party. Are you kidding me? A friend
I didn't understand
that she needs to be with her father that's ill. What are you talking about? This is a party.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It made no sense. But
Toya is very self-centered, though. You can tell she's very.
That tail though last episode.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was who she was dealing with then. Contessa, she know Contessa, and all that military background was gonna mop Toya up in that restaurant.
Yeah, that's what I thought she was gonna hit her when she bagged back up.
Me too.
Cause Contessa looked like she wear about 11 shoes. Got them big old hands too. That's why they won that dodgeball. And all them activities y'all see her out there. She in shape. The rest of them not in shape.
Right.
She's in shape.
Yeah. So Nikki, that was very petty of Toya to even get on the microphone and to call her out like that in front of that whole crowd.
It was scripted.
And where he had to actually say, well, my wife, try to speak up in his wife's defense. Why would you even put him on the spot like that and make him uncomfortable in front of all these people? And that's when Dr. whatever his name is, Eugene, she went over there and took that mic out of her hand and told her that's enough.
Yeah, people done told Eugene before that he need to get his wife, and he said, I don't embarrass. He kind of said something to the fact of, I do talk to Toya. I'm not going to embarrass her, but I do talk to her.
And I don't think she walked up and take the mic and saying, you know what, that's enough. Thanks everybody for coming. Let's enjoy ourselves, and pulling that heifer over to the court and say, you know what, you went too far.
Well, because she embarrassed him. She didn't tell him to put that chicken in your mouth.
All right, exactly. She'll go there with him in a minute. Everybody be like, "Who? She just dogged out Eugene. Eugene, like I ain't in no abusive marriage." Okay. All right, let's wrap it on up and let's end it with Heavenly in this nice little trip back home. We're not doing spiritual journey no more. Nope. We done with spiritual journey because she's not on no spiritual journey. I don't care how much she write it. I don't care how much she said. Last year and the last couple of years, she was able to get Jackie and all them to lie and kind of agree with her. Now they ain't even lying no more with that mess. Everybody knows she ain't no spiritual journey. That lady is the devil, evil, and everything. She didn't block me from everything there is on social media because I call her
what is it? Say it for Heavenly.
Yeah. Because she evil and just dirty and low down, and they don't call on her mess, and that's what makes me mad, that they don't call her out on the stuff that she does and the stuff that she say. They give her a pass because she ignorant, and I don't have time for that.
Well, I actually think that I don't know that I think she's evil and all of that, or the devil and all of that, but I do think she's broken. And I'm actually happy that she's had the conversation that she's had with this latest counselor that's leading her back to, to try and revisit and
Didn't y'all think he was Stoney Jackson at first, trying to act like he wasn't Stoney Jackson?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you really think it was Stoney Jackson trying to act like he wasn't Stoney Jackson?
I did. This girl is crazy.
No sign of that. No, I did not.
I looked at the thing. I'm like, Stoney Jackson. He done cut off his head trying to act like he ain't Stoney.
But Nikki, I'm laughing so hard because he did look like Stoney Jackson. I was like, I'm weak.
I'm like, that's Stoney. If he doing life coaching now, just say what it is, but don't sit up there and try to fool me like you ain't Stoney.
Oh man, I'm weak. But look, y'all.
Okay, so go ahead.
I think that maybe next week we'll get more of this information. But just when I heard Heavenly say that her mom used to call her bitches, so now I understand that she has some really deep, like Nita said, she's broken. There's a lot of family stuff there that we don't know. I think that has shaped her to who she is. She, and I have to say the same thing. Why does she walk around calling people bitches all the time? And that's her favorite word.
But you know what the other thing is also to see that she would say, always got something to say about somebody's mama. So she don't have no respect for her mama, wouldn't care about her mother, and didn't feel like her mother cared about her. So she's jealous of Mariah and her relationship with her mother. So talking about, she don't talk about nobody else, mama.
No, she does not.
She always talking about Miss Lucy.
You don't never see anybody else's mother.
No, you don't, do you?
Well, I think.
No.
No, you don't.
But don't talk about Miss Lucy.
Yeah,
you shouldn't talk about anybody's mother, and you shouldn't call women the B word.
Right. And
you're good and grown. You are not 20 years old. It's not a term of endearment. It's an insult. It's offensive.
Yep.
And then talking about your ugly. Where's your black ugly mama at? And I think that, and I really honestly think that a lot of her issues just comes from because she still sees herself as fat and ugly. No matter how much makeup she wears, no matter how much weight she's lost, she sees herself as unattractive. And she probably sees herself as black and ugly. And so I would be curious because she says her sister reminds her of Mariah, and and that the mom always said that the sister could do something else, and I wonder if her sister is lighter than her.
Yeah, that'll probably come out if it's tied to it.
Girl, ain't nobody coming out to holler out their Heavenly sister. Don't nobody want nobody to know that they know Heavenly.
Oh,
yeah, I wonder how does her attitude.
That's why Daddy holler out Buddy.
I wonder how does her attitude impact her practice.
Yeah, me too. She seemed to give, when I every day show her with a patient, which is every now and then, and her patients seem as if they like her, but when I think about the patient, what I saw was Jewel. So never mind.
Her counselor.
Right.
No, but she made all of her money doing those buildings, getting them up and running, then selling them, putting other dentists in them. So that's how she made a lot of money. So she's very smart.
Yeah, she is.
But that's probably because her mom said, you're not going to get nowhere with your looks. So you better stay up in them books. And she's still holding on to that. And I think that to her, in her mind, Mariah has it all together. So then I'll make her my, right. Because how you go from being mad at Quad to coming back and being mad at Mariah and to say that Mariah lied on Toya. Nobody has said different about that whole thing that Toya said about Mariah's daughter was a lie. They just said that they were moving on. Nobody said that was a lie.
To try to bring that up, I thought was unfortunate too.
Yes,
right. Her and Quad. Like Mariah going out there trying to be nice and get his girl a purse. Nah, just gonna sit it on. Girl, here I am. I done walk out here and try to give you this purse. If you don't take this purse.
Yeah, Mariah let Quad have it about that purse, didn't she? So this is me.
Right. And it's like, right. Don't try to act like you. I know who you are. So, okay, so let's wrap this up. Closing remarks.
I'm looking forward to both shows next week. I hope to get some more insight into Heavenly and her relationship with her mom. And I'm just living for Iyanla to put Tamar in her place.
I'm looking forward to actually seeing the culmination of the Braxton Family Value Show. I actually think that this is, although they're not saying it, it will be their last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too.
If they've done this walkout and we haven't heard that they've resolved that issue, I think it's going to be a struggle because it's going to financially impact Tracy. I think that was her issue. That financially, she was just like, this is how I'm paying my bills, so I need to go to work. I actually agree with what they were saying. If you were going to do it, you should have just said something because we thought you had agreed to do this with us. But I think Tracy, I think the network was trying to test out whether Tracy had the ability to hold her own. Well, all I know is they didn't get much from me because I fast forward every time I saw somebody other than the sisters because that wasn't of interest to me. I didn't know those people besides Flavor Flav, and he really wasn't someone that I was interested in back when he was with Public Enemy. So he wasn't anybody for me to stop and listen to now. And I just think that the whole season is going to end with this, even though they're just calling it a season finale. I think the show is going to end. Excuse me. And then with Married to Medicine, I am like you, Margot. I'm interested in seeing what comes from Heavenly. I really think that she is trying. I think she's broken. I think she realizes that she's broken. And I do think that this is going to be something that impacts her positively. Whatever it is, this journey that the counselor has sent her on, I think she's going to learn some things that will cause her to not be as mean and hateful. But I actually think that she says, just as horrible of stuff as Simone may say, or the rest of them may say too at times. But I think that she will also, come out better on the other side of it. And I think because she is supposed to be the mean one, she continues to be depicted as such. And so it's edited so that she can continue to always be who we're supposed to see her as. And we'll just see if it ends up working out.
Okay. And so then my takeaway is I agree. This is going to be the last year for the Braxton family value, but I hope that Tracy can get a spinoff that maybe they'll base it around her family and we could get to know her husband and son and grandchild or something like that she can still be able to maintain. I don't give a care about the rest of them. They too wishy-washy for me. But all I'm gonna live for, because I already done seen Iyanla walk out and with the biggest purse she done had, and I live for them walkouts when she grabbed that purse, baby. That I live to see her walking out on somebody and grabbing that purse like she doesn't trust the people to leave it in the tray.
Never trust anybody with that purse.
So I don't know, but this one is one of the biggest ones she has. So I don't know if she has some activities that they were supposed to do, but this one is big. So I can't wait to see her grab this one and walk out.
Oh, Nikki, can I just add one more thing before we go? I don't want to see Tracy and her family. I thought that was so boring when they did that Tracy and Friends, and I love Kim Whitley. And
I'm saying her real family, her husband's son. That may be good though.
No, I'm a pass.
Okay, so we already know the viewership gonna be down.
Right. It's not gonna be the same.
Yeah, it's definitely not gonna be the same. Maybe she got some cool girlfriend.
Some real friends, because that was what was weird about it. It was just like there were these random people that she had or had not met, and that crazy Marine workout dude.
Right. And I like the people that she actually had on there, but I don't want to see that. I'm with Nita. My thing was on fast forward. I think I fast forwarded one episode all the way to the end. It was like, oh, okay, no, it's not Braxton's, and this is the Braxton's. Is why I turned this on.
Yeah. So, but I just want Tracy to, because the singing not gonna bring her no money, and we saw that performance.
Yeah,
that's why I was hoping. Right, exactly. Right. So that's what I'm hoping for the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do want Tracy to win.
Right. I do too. And then just looking forward to Married to Medicine. I know it's gonna be some decent stuff. I love their getaway trips. Those always end up good and nice and heated. I hope Mariah don't have to provide them receipts on Daddy, but she might have to.
And invoices.
Right. But I think that Heavenly know, that they really Heavenly know what it is. And so I'm just looking forward to the rest of that, even though I almost feel like it's time for them to, since I've been watching it since season 1. Quad not gonna be there next year. We know that already. But I almost feel like they need to it's time to bring in some fresh, new. I like Jackie. I'm sick of her.
I like Jackie. Just keep her.
I'm sick of her and Holland and Simone. It's time to bring in some new.
I like both of them. I think.
It's trying to bring in some new stuff. I mean, we could predict that Jackie gonna be, oh, you shouldn't, and this is what I would do, give the good advice, and then we know Simone going, you think you're better. So if you want to see that every week, then, but you don't want to see Tracy, okay?
No, that was a little too slow for me. That was almost like paint drying.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to Nikki B and Friends reality check version. So check us out. You can follow my Facebook page at Nikki Nikki B and Friends, and also my Twitter page at Nikki B and Friends. Thank you and have a great week.
Good night.